without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen him originally in Lord of the Rings. We saw him in Riddick. We also saw him in Red in Born Supremacy, but we know him as our favorite Dr. Bones McCoy. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Karl Urban!
Hey, how are ya? Orlando, Florida. Are you out of your Vulcan minds? Excellent. So am I. How you doing today? You good? Great. It's such a privilege and an honor for me to be here. I came from New Zealand to be with you people, so thank you. Thank you. I understand that some of you have traveled some long distances too, so thank you so much for your time and energy. It's great to be here. It seems like such a wonderful state. I wish I could actually spend some time here. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm flying out tonight, but you guys live in an amazing place if you live here. If you don't, you should live here, because it's amazing. I've been down there doing autographs and photographs, and constantly people are asking me the same couple of questions, so I just want to get them off the bat right now. They asked me, is there going to be a Dread sequel? Thank you. And what's happening with Almost Human? So I'm just going to answer both those questions right now. I don't know. I would love to make another Dread. I really would. You know, we had such a great time. Thank you. We had such a great time making that movie, and it's so wonderful to get to the point where it's been sort of discovered and cherished by all you great people. And I would love nothing more to make another one. So we'll see. We're working on it. People are working on it, and we're trying to make that happen. As for Almost Human, we haven't been picked up yet, but I'm pretty confident we will. It's in the... Meetings are happening, and I think that it's got a good shot. If it goes ahead, I'd be happy to make more, and if it doesn't, I'm almost happy. Almost happy? I'd be just as happy, actually. I have a great time working with Michael Ealy, and the cast and the crew are just absolutely fantastic, and it's just wonderful that it has become as popular as it has, and the chemistry between Kennex and Dorian is, it's why I go to work. To work with an actor like Michael Ealy is why I do what I do. And, every day was such a privilege and a pleasure working with him. And, just the utmost respect for him. And so we'll see. Who knows? But anyway, now that we got those questions out of the way. Oh, you want to know about Star Trek? Okay, Star Trek, from what I gather, is being shot most likely end of this year, more likely early next year, to be in cinemas for the 50th anniversary. So that is great news. Space is full of disease and danger, wrapped in darkness and silence. Can I just say, Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman are phenomenal writers. As an actor, when you get dialogue like that, it is just such a rarity and it's such a pleasure, and they do such a phenomenal job. I'm really looking forward to working with those guys and the entire cast and crew again. So, hold on, just wait, there's more. So anyway, let's just open this up, and if you have a question, shoot.
Karl, there are microphones on either side of the aisles here. People are already lined up in front of them, so you can go either or.
All right, double teaming.
Hi.
Okay, hey, no, whatever floats your boat. It's all good. Hey.
Just to confirm real quick, we had paid for a photo op, and you were supposed to have one scheduled today at 2, and now they came out and said you're not going to have one. Any word on that?
That's not true.
Okay.
Just come to the area where I'm signing, and we'll do a photo op.
Sounds perfect.
With your camera or your iPhone or whatever, and we'll make it happen.
That sounds great.
Nobody leaves empty-handed. Ladies and gentlemen,
You were great in red.
woo! Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bad move, Grandpa.
First, I'd like to say you make Medical Blue look real good.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? And next, I'd like to know if you could play anyone else in the movie, who would you play and why?
In which movie? Any movie?
Star Trek.
In Star Trek. That's a good question. No. Who would I play in Star Trek? That's a great question. Probably Gary Mitchell. Why not? He had a good story. I liked his story. Yeah, Gary Mitchell.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi. I enjoyed it when you just did that impression. Are there any other impressions you'd like to share with us?
No. No, just kidding. Other impressions. Gosh.
It could be Star Trek or not Star Trek, but you know, Star Trek.
You know what? Fascinating. Space. The final frontier. I can't do it, Captain. Energize. I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. I'm giving it all she's got. Warp speed, Mr. Sulu. I don't know who this guy is. Doesn't matter. What is your question?
Hi.
I speak English. I learned it from a book. That's all I got.
I just
But
wanted to know, I know a lot of people have taken things home from the set. Is there anything that you've taken home from any of the movies?
Are you asking me, do I steal?
No.
Yes, I do. When I started, I was an amateur. I stole thermal underwear. But I got better. From the Born Supremacy, they gave me this as the leather coat that Karl wears. I got that. I got the whole Indian outfit, except not the rifle. They took that off me. What else? I got from Riddick. I got one of the weapons, the blasters. Star Trek, I stole. They gave it to me, sweetheart. I stole it. A ring and a Starfleet insignia. I got that. And from Almost Human, I got Kennick's blaster and his Chan Lu bracelet. Right there. You know, like serial killers, I like mementos. No, I've got an office, and I've got it sort of filled with stuff off of Dredd. I got the Dredd helmet. Peter Jackson and Fran kindly gave me my Lord of the Rings helmet. So, yeah, it will all be for sale down at my booth. So come on down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Stealing is good. No, I was just kidding, dude. It's not. It's kidding. I was joking. Those things were given to me by very wealthy producers. Hey, man, what's up?
Would you ever like to play in a role of Star Wars?
Star Wars. Oh, my God. I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah, sure I would. I really would. But to me, it's kind of tricky because I'm already in Star Trek. And I just feel, if I was to go to a Star Wars movie and see an actor from, say, Star Trek and Star Wars, well, for me anyway, it might be a little bit jarring. It could not be, but it might be. But I tell you what, I cannot wait to see what JJ does with Star Wars. Because he's one of the best directors I've ever worked with, ever. He is amazing. He is so smart and so talented, and he's going to knock that out of the park. Are you looking forward to the next Star Wars? Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I just can't wait. So I hope to be able to visit set. I want to see that Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? Right? Steal it.
Mike Ovanen.
Hey.
I was wondering if there were any scenes from either Lord of the Rings or Star Trek that you remember filming or seen being filmed that never made it onto the DVD or the cuts.
Yes, many scenes. Sure, you know what, there always is. Not so much for Dread. For Dread, you know, everything that we shot, we put up on the screen. And, you know, we were, you know, we didn't even probably have a tenth of the budget that they had for the original film. And it forced us to be very inventive. And, you know, I was very proud of the way that movie turned out. So everything from that basically went in. You know, it depends. And, you know, we're working, one of the fun things about doing Almost Human, thank you, is that they kind of let us go for it. We'll do one that's on the page, Michael and I, and then we'll riff and we'll improvise. And a lot of that stuff that you see in the car is us just fooling around, having fun. You know? The whole, you know, you scan my balls. That whole conversation was improvised. And that's what I love about these, you know, about, you know, JJ and Brian Burke is they hire you to do a job and they let you do it. You know, as long as they've got what's on the page covered, which we do, and then it's like, sure, go for it. And it just amazes me about how much of that stuff that's in the show is actually, you know, Mike and I working off each other. And I think that's what the audience, part of what the audience is responding to. But obviously there's a lot of stuff that in that improvisation that doesn't make it, you know, for various reasons. Yeah, don't worry. So, yeah, hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm about to have a heart attack, so just. Almost Human is my favorite
I know
show.
a doctor. Is there a doctor in the house?
Almost Human is my favorite show. It means a lot to me. And I was just wondering, in this last, you know, few episodes ago, Kennex said no when Dorian asked if he wanted to go out to the bar and watch him drink. And Kennex kind of said, no, it was kind of weird last time. And Dorian kind of gave this little smile. And I just want to know, in your opinion, like, what do you think happened that was so weird that, you know, I mean, because I just need to know your opinions, man.
Wow, that's... Well, you know, I think that, you know, Dorian probably, because as he tends to do, right? It's just lays it out. No.
Right on the bar.
I don't know. You'd like to see that, wouldn't you? All right, I'll talk to Mike Ely. Let's make that happen. That's a good question. That's a very good question. And I hope I answered it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Hey, what's up?
Well, first of all, John, I'd like to say I'm very, very sad that you're not wearing the leg I gave you because I can hear yours beeping from over here. And,
Okay.
I'm a DRN. I'm your DRN.
You are a DRN.
Yes.
Hey,
Wow.
girl.
Wow. And you're not even wearing the leg I got you.
No,
my
I am
question
wearing
is-
it. I've got clothes on.
I can hear
You
yours
want
beeping.
to see it?
I can hear yours beeping.
You want to
from
see the
here.
leg? No.
Also, all of the roles that you've played, out of all of them, what was your favorite?
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's a great question. Very difficult question to answer, actually. You know, they're like your children. You invest so much time and energy in them, and there's not one that you really favor or like over the other. I'm particularly proud of obviously Almost Human. There's a, you know, and Dread. Dread is also there was a lot of hard work and that went into that, and I was very, very happy with how it turned out. And then obviously I'd have to say probably Bones from Star Trek as well, if I had to name just one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Damn, DRN. Very good. Hey, how are you?
Hi, darling. Hey. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
I know a doctor.
You can examine me anytime.
Sounds like a challenge.
Okay, so with the new Star Treks, I know that a lot of the original Trekkies had issues with it, but I wasn't an original Trekkie, I'm sorry. And it introduced me to the original series, and then from that, Next Gen, and now I'm a giant nerd. But so I wanted to know that as a Trekkie, did you feel more pressure or less pressure taking on the role of Bones? Like, did you feel you would be more comfortable in it and have an edge up on the other actors who weren't fans, or was it kind of like, oh God, I have the weight of the world on my shoulders because I am familiar with it?
Yeah, it was more the latter, actually. When in approaching Bones, firstly, thank you. That was a really great question.
Thank you.
In approaching Bones from Star Trek, no, seriously.
That's mine right now.
Obviously I was a huge fan of the show, the original series, and out of all the new cast members, probably myself and Simon Pegg were the only ones who were really au fait with it. And, I wasn't so much, I saw when I was cast, the fan reaction, there's a lot of, negativity and stuff, and, you try not to take that on board, and, I was obviously determined to go out there and do the best job that I could do and prove them wrong. But I would have to say I put enough pressure on myself as a fan to get it right, let alone thinking about what other people, think. And that's just part of being an actor. I mean, when Daniel Craig was cast as James Bond, and then everyone was like, oh, blonde James Bond, no way, that's not going to work. But he's phenomenal. He did such an extraordinary job. It really is a case of... and that's one of the things that I like is getting in there and discovering that character. And when you approach a character, you have to open many doors. And with Bones, it was the challenge in playing the character was not to do an impression of what the late great DeForest Kelley had done. He was so wonderful, but I had to really kind of identify what the very essence of his characterization was, and then somehow imbue that into a younger version. And so, there were certain things with the voice which just came to me, and also certain mannerisms that I felt that if I was a fan of the original series, that I would feel gypped if I went into the cinema and didn't see it. So I put them in there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
In Dread, was it difficult playing a character that the only source of emotion is the mouth?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it was difficult. It was really hard. And thank you. It's a really great question. That was the challenge, was how to convey to the audience an emotion like hope or weariness or disapproval or, approval, anything like that. It was a real challenge. And I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't a little bit anxious about how that was going to come off, because I made some what I thought were pretty firm choices about the character in terms of his voice and his demeanor. And it was a huge challenge, and it was a little freaky at times because I didn't know if it was coming off or not. But I am very happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad that Alex Garland wrote such a wonderful script and respected the fact that the character keeps his helmet on. So you take the helmet off, it ain't really Judge Dredd. You know what I mean? No disrespect to anybody else who's played the character before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. How quickly did you bond with Michael Ealy and the rest of the Almost Human cast?
Oh, very quickly. Mike and I became fast friends, and actually I'm going to catch up with him this weekend in LA, and his beautiful wife and beautiful child. And it's just such a great cast, and that's one of the things that JJ and co do really, really well is they put great groups of people together. They did it on Lost, on Alias, Fringe, and obviously Star Trek, and I know he'll do that on Star Wars as well. Just like-minded, creative people who are fun and positive. And out of all my experience with working on JJ, there's not a bad egg amongst the whole lot. Michael Ealy's just fantastic. He's funny, he's insightful, and he's a great actor. He's just brilliant. And to go to work with him every day, I know that I have to bring my A game, because if I don't, he's going to steal the scene, hands down. And I like that. It's a challenge. And particularly, he's playing such, it's like, I kind of liken it, he's playing Spock to my Kirk in many ways. So, what? So thank you. Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so first I'd like to say thank you for being so gracious today, and I believe you were here yesterday, so thank you very much.
Thank you. More. Come on, more. We're talking about graciousness.
I also want to say that the fan bots are awesome, and all of our badge rabbits are awesome for spamming Fox and Twitter to try and get Almost Human renewed, because we freaking love that show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
So I think someone's already asked a similar question, but when I saw Riddick, I was so disappointed that Vaco only has this 1 minute cameo, because I watched it for Vaco, not so much for Riddick. So it made me wonder, is there a character that you've enjoyed playing but you haven't really had an opportunity or haven't been asked to come back and play yet, you'd really like to, but you haven't?
Oh, boy. Thank you. That's a great question. Firstly, yeah. I was actually shooting Star Trek when Riddick came along and asked me to come and do a cameo for them. And, I had such a wonderful time working with Vin and David Toohey that I would have done anything for them. And so I flew into Montreal for a day and shot a cameo, and that's what ended up in the film, which I haven't seen yet, but I will.
You're not really in it, so it's totally fine.
Okay, don't worry about it. I want to see it. I do want to see it.
It is very good, but it's not as good as it could.
All right. Okay, I hear what you're saying. More Vaco. Okay. You know what? I feel very blessed with the roles that I've been given to date. I really do. I mean, to be in Lord of the Rings and Star Trek, Judge Dredd, iconic comic book character. I feel it would kind of almost be greedy for me to say, I want this or I want more, because I'm pretty content with what I've been able to achieve so far. That being said, I would love the opportunity to play a character that was perhaps, based in reality, like Ernest Shackleton, who was the captain of the Endurance, which got lodged in ice down in the southern Antarctic. And he led his entire crew through this, I think, 3-4 month ordeal, and commenced upon one of the greatest open sea journeys in history, to sail, across the Southern Ocean to a remote whaling station, and then had to climb over a mountain to get down to this whaling station on the other side to get a boat to rescue his crew, sail back and rescue his crew. I would love the opportunity to play a character like that, or Rob Hall, which they're actually making this movie, called Everest. And Rob Hall is a New Zealand mountaineer, mountain guide, who took a team up Everest, a very fateful day back in, I think it was 96, I believe, 94, 96, something like that. and they got hit by the most severe snowstorm, and 14 of the party ended up losing their lives. And the thing that I have such deep admiration and respect for about this particular man is that he was up at the top of Everest, and he knew if he didn't leave right now, he was going to die, but he chose to stay there with his client. And they, tragically didn't make it out, either of them. But to me, to not leave, that's just sort of a testament of his courage to stay there with someone who he knew was dying, and he ultimately knew that he was going to die too. I would love the opportunity to play a man like that, and that's going to be happening anyway with another actor. But I would have liked that role. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for being here. I'm definitely fangirling. My question is, what would your advice be for aspiring actors as far as the steps that they should take and where they should go?
What would my advice be? When I told my dad, I told my father I was going to be an actor, he says, "No, son, you've pronounced it wrong. It's doctor." Yeah. Hey, Dad, guess what? Okay, here's my advice. To anyone, and this doesn't matter whether you want to be an actor, a doctor, a lawyer, a mathematician. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your craft. The more you put into yourself, the better you're going to be. When you're not working, pay to work. Take classes. I believe in the power of positivity. I think negativity is like a drop in a pool. And it spreads out, and it has far-reaching consequences that you don't see at the time. So you have to be mindful of that. I think you have to be mindful of your thoughts. And I think that it's really about, also, I guess, it's about many things, and many things, generally speaking. But I would just say, go for it. Be obstinate. Don't give up. You hit a barrier, whatever it is in life, you hit a barrier, don't take no for an answer. You've got to find a way to get up it, over it, around it, through it, to get what you need, to get what you want. Don't give up. That's my advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's $55. Never do something for free. I'm just kidding. That's a good thing to do. I love doing free stuff. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Did Vin Diesel ever get you to play D&D with him?
To play what? Video games?
No, D&D. He wrote
Dungeons and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Did you play any games with him?
Yeah, no. No, I didn't. But I did hang out with him a bit, and let me just say, he's a great guy. He really is. And I love him. I love working with him, and he's just one of those really humble guys. And when you really get to know him, and he's has such a powerful magnetic presence when you're in a room with him, and it's really interesting to watch that. And I've only met a few people who really light up a room, and Vin does that. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Karl.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
So good.
All right.
No, seriously.
I have two small questions. My first question is about Vin
I
Diesel.
love small questions.
When they first told you about Chronicles of Riddick, did you process it in your mind as I could have the chance to punch Vin Diesel?
No.
Okay. And my second question is, I turned 25 this morning, and I was wondering if Dredd could tell me happy birthday.
Happy birthday, creep.
Thank you.
Very good.
You're under arrest. 10 years in the cubes.
Hi,
Hey, how are ya?
I was wondering, before you got into film acting, did you ever do any theater, or would you consider doing anything on Broadway or any kind of theater acting?
Yes. Yeah, I did do a bit of theatre, actually, in New Zealand. I did a bit of theatre for the Auckland Theatre Company, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And there's one thing that I love about theatre is that the continuity of the performance is unbroken. From the minute you step on that stage to the end of the night, it's like a fuse being lit. And all the best directors that I've worked with in film manage to harness that energy and achieve that in film. But it's quite a different beast because of the nature and the fragmented nature in which it's shot. But for anyone who's interested in being an actor, theatre is really the place to start. That's where you really pay your dues and learn about your craft.
Great, and could you say the following line? Damn it, Jim, I'm a writer of Rohan, not a doctor. Please.
No. Damn it, Jim, I'm a writer of Rohan, not a doctor. $50. Look, she's good. I'm good. See you later. Bye. I've got more to say here. All right.
Hi.
Hey.
So I've heard that there's lots of pranking on every set that you've been on. So I was wondering, what's the best prank you've ever played on someone, or what's the best prank that you've seen happen to somebody else?
You guys heard about neutron cream?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear about it, do you? You do? Okay. 1 minute. Let me tell you a story. Okay, we were on Star Trek, and it was very near the end. It was like the last week. And we were shooting at a top secret facility called NORAD or something like that. It's a very scientific place. They shoot lasers at things. Really sunk in. So the whole cast and crew had been there for a week, and I arrived on the last day along with John Cho. And so we arrived the night before, and we went out to dinner. And to these guys with Chris and Simon Pegg and Alice Eve, John Cho, and Zach, and then we were talking through the night, and then Chris just dropped into the conversation. Oh man, yeah, we have to do this public service announcement tomorrow. I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's just this, part of the courtesy for us shooting at this location. We have to do this public service announcement. I'm like, oh yeah. And then later on through the evening, they just also dropped another little thing. It's about this the low dose of radiation was emitted, and they have to wear this cream, but it's fine. I'm like, really? Okay. Didn't think too much more of it. Thought it was weird. But anyway, I arrived to set the next day, and my makeup artist, Jeannie, lovely woman, 60-year-old makeup artist, said, oh, hey, hey, Karl, I've got your neutron cream that we'll put on you later on, and I was like, what is this? He goes, oh, well, there's a low dose of radiation that gets emitted from the facility, and you have to wear this cream. I was like, okay. Are you wearing the cream? No, I took the pills. Oh, okay. So anyway, then we get called to set to do a block through, and when you're shooting a movie, the director calls the cast to set, and you figure out where you move, and then the director figures out how you're going to shoot the scene. Most block throughs take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then the actors are sent away, they light the set, and then we shoot it, come back and shoot it. This block through was the longest block through in the history of me working with JJ. We were in there for at least 45 minutes to an hour because he couldn't quite figure out what he wanted to do. And all the while I'm thinking, I'm not wearing my neutron cream. I started to feel a little bit queasy. And I mean, when you go into this place and you see this big cylinder with the laser beam things and stuff, you're like, yeah, damn, that thing would give off radiation. So I go back and get finished, made up, come back to set, and just before I step on set, they put all these little dots of neutron cream on my face. And I walk into set, and then before I go and actually do any work, they wheel me out in front of the international press, who were in on it. Yeah, no, there's a low dose of radiation. Just got to wear the neutron cream. Oh, you took the pills? Oh, yeah. Can I just say I was a little bit jet-lagged at this time, but anyway. So anyway, we start shooting, and then all of a sudden, between takes, the first AD goes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill. Shake it out. Let's shake those neutrons out. And everyone starts doing this, and I'm like, oh. And then just randomly through the day, I'm just there doing extra, because I'm not feeling very well because of the radiation. Okay, lunchtime rolls around, and I'm really feeling like I've got a high dose of radiation going on. And I'm pissed. How could they do this to me? Why am I risking my life shooting this movie? Damn, JJ. And after lunch, we come to set, and we have to do this public service announcement. And Zach and Chris go first. And it was just so bizarre. Right halfway through it, like I'm sitting there watching them, and then Chris says, and despite what you've heard out there in the community, we just want to assure you that NORAD is perfectly safe. And I'm thinking, what is this place? So then John Cho and I do our public service announcement, talking about how safe the place is, and they have these big cue cards. And, the second to last cue card was, and most importantly, we want you to know that you've been, and then they pull it away, and it's like, had. And I'm reading this. Oh, they thought it was hilarious. Rolling around in laughter. Can I just say that? So apparently this whole thing started with Simon Pegg sitting in a makeup chair next to Chris Pine saying, oh, did you get your neutron cream? What? Yeah, neutron cream. There's a low dose of radiation. And had Chris going for 5 minutes, and he thought this was hilarious. So day by day, the prank got, progressively more and more elaborate, and the entire crew were on it. They had T-shirts, they had gum, they had made up, the art department had made up, proper signs. I mean, when they pulled the neutron cream out, it had like a radiation sign, a neutron cream, and it's like, yeah. But you know what? Simon Pegg, you will keep. And I just say a little addendum to this story, is that I actually got Chris Pine first. The night before, after we went out to dinner, we went back to the hotel, and all the actors, we were staying on the one floor. And we had quite a considerable amount of drinks, as you do before you go to work. And at the end of the night, the bill came along, and I said, hey, I'll get that. Bring it over here. I go and sign a room number. Not mine. So they take the bill away. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, hey, Zoe, what room are you in? I was like, oh, I'm in room 320. Oh, okay, yeah. Chris, what are you? Zach, what are you in? Oh, you're 315. Yeah, Chris, what are you in? Or just, what are you in? Oh, 329. 329. Thanks, man. So let me just say this. I'm going to tell you another little story. I was fast asleep at home in New Zealand. Middle of the night, the phone goes, and it's my agent, and she's like frantic. It's like, Karl, you got to get on the plane. You can't not get on the plane. You got to get on the plane. I will buy you new red socks. You got to get on the plane. You got to start the movie. The studio will freak out if you don't make it. Karl, I swear to God, if you don't get on the plane, this is not good. I'm like, Jenny, what are you talking about? Silence. Bloody Vigo. Vigo had called Jenny up, woke her up in the middle of the night. Jenny, it's Karl. I'm not getting on the plane. I can't find my lucky red socks. I can't go. I'm not going. pull me out of the movie. I'm not going on that plane without my lucky red socks. My sock. Fast forward 10 years. I'm in Spain doing press for Dread. Vigo's in Spain doing press for Un Plan, his film, Spanish film. I'm speaking to the press on Tuesday, he's speaking to the press on Wednesday. So, at the end of every single interview, I just sort of casually say, yeah, I got the day off tomorrow. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm going to head up to Segovia, and my friend Viggo Mortensen has bought a goat farm. Yeah. He's got 3,000 goats. He's making goat cheese. It got reported on the national news in Spain, televised. Viggo Mortensen buys goat farm in Segovia. And I hooked up with Viggo later on that day, that night. He already knew about it. He was getting calls. He just looked at me just like... So the next day, he goes in to do his interviews, and all the reporters want to talk about is not his film. They want to talk about the goat farm in Segovia. And in the end, he told me that he was so sick of denying it and correcting the story that he just ended up saying, yes, I have bought a goat farm in Segovia. I like the spotted goats because they fart less and they make sweet cheese. Simon Pegg will keep. Thank you. One more question, all right. Just before you ask your question, sweetheart, there was one other time an actor got me really bad, and that was Val Kilmer. We were shooting Comanche Moon, and I'd come off set, and I walked to my trailer, and it was really weird because he was sitting, the AD's trailer was right opposite mine, and he was just sitting on the seat there chatting with the ADs, and you never used to do that. And I was like, oh, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, good. And I was talking to him for a while. And then I went to my trailer and I opened the door, and right at head height, there was this snake, like in complete strike mode, like a cobra, like from Indiana Jones. And I was like, ah! Got the fright of my life. Oh, he thought it was hilarious. And I never got him back, but he will keep.
I love the show Almost Human, and there's been only 2 episodes where they referenced the wall. So my question is, have you talked to like the writers? What exactly is the wall? Is that like a post-apocalyptic thing or something? So the wall.
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, I have talked to the writers. But I cannot tell you what's behind the wall. I would love to, I really would. Truth is, I just don't know. No, I do, but I can't tell you. I've got an idea, but it's just, there could be many things.
Hi.
Sorry, I would love to tell you, I really would. But, it's like Lost. What's with the island? It's like, what's behind the wall? Oh, she's pissed. She's like, that's it, I'm out of here. All right. God bless you. Thank you for your question. I'd love to help you out. You want to know what's behind the wall? East Berlin.
Hi. My question is, if you could meet DeForest Kelley and ask him something, what would you ask him and why?
Oh wow, that's a great question. I guess that was one of the aspects about Star Trek that I was really, I guess, most sort of humbled about, was actually getting to meet and work with, in the case of Leonard Nimoy, the original cast members. Mm-hmm. And I really, in a good, healthy kind of way, envied that connection and that Zach was able to have with Leonard. and they became really good friends. And I would have loved the opportunity to meet the late, great DeForest Kelley. I really would. As to what I would ask him, it wouldn't be just one specific thing. I would just love to hear about his entire experience of working on Star Trek, you know, right from the television series through to the movies, dealing with the studio and his character. And I would have loved to have just sat there for hours and just listened. You know, and yeah, it's such a huge admiration, respect, and love for that man and his work and his contribution to the legacy of Star Trek. You know, and he came on that show, and through, I guess, the power of his wonderful work, his character became, you know, elevated to a third billing status. And, you know, and that core triumvirate was always the heart of the show for me. I mean, I love science fiction, but to me, that show was always about a cult of personality, and the way those three characters primarily used to interact, overcome their differences with each other in order to defeat, you know, a common adversary. That to me was the glue. So I'll tell you just one final funny story. That answers my question. Thank you. Of being on set the first day that Leonard Nimoy put his ears on. It's like the first time in like 16 years, I think, that he became Spock. I mean, just for me to be in the presence was so, I was humbled, but it was just insane. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So anyway, Leonard goes and does the first take, and I see JJ, and he's at the monitor, and he's watching, and he's like this. Scene's happening over there, and he's like this, watching the monitor. The take finishes, and he gets up, and he does this. He gets halfway over, and he looks up at Leonard Nimoy, and he stops. And he sort of goes, he does this. And it's the only time that I've really seen JJ lost for words, because he got, and I asked him about it later, and he said he got halfway over to the set and realized that he was approaching this icon. He was going to give direction to Spock. What the could he tell Leonard Nimoy about playing Spock? Thank you. You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening and watching and admiring the fantastic, the elected, the tall, Mr. Karl Urban!
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderful. I just want to say, come on down to the booth. Let's get a photo. Let's get an autograph. I would love to meet each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you very much for your time and energy. All right.